Hey now, Thursday the 23rd of February. Cheers, people. It's 8 o'clock, it's kind of early. I'm just getting my motor going, so excuse me, I may look a little rough. So, what's the latest? Because that's really what this is. This is me spending a few minutes with the world every day through my little videos here. Hello, family. Specifically, hello, family. Thinking about you all in this funky weather out there in California. Hope everybody's okay. Hope everyone's okay with this weather. Yeah, so the latest. What's the latest? Because yeah. Well, the latest is that things are going well. Things are going well. Things are going well. So I do have a few records to show that I finally played some music last night other than what I'm working on. And it's wonderful to get your feedback. I had a meeting yesterday with Blake and Cubby. Cubby is the guitar player's name, Jacob Cubby Phillips. Cubby fits him. I guess when he was a little kid he was chubby, and then when he grew out of that it became Cubby. I don't know, but he's just an amazing guitar player for his age. Truly. Some of y'all caught it in the little bit that I played yesterday. So nuanced, so subtle, so about the music. It's not about him. Hey, look at me, I'm playing the guitar. It's him going inside the music. And the beautiful thing about Blake is that this is new to Blake, but Blake, like I said, I know a lot of beautiful broken people, and Blake is a hot mess of a human being. And it comes out in his playing. He's been through a lot, and he's got deep feelings. He's really actually rather high strung and can be a pain in the ass. I love those guys so much. I was saying to them yesterday, it's like, you're my musical comrades, and we're musical brothers, but you're also kind of like my kids. And they like that, and I like it too. I love them so much. Okay, so I did some. We were entranced. We're entranced with what we're doing. It's like we're kind of like in like, wow, this is just really coming together. And I just need to talk a little more about it, because my approach to having them, I've been trying to get these guys to do my music more for years now. We had a band. We've been doing recordings, but not here. Now that they're here, they've been kind of forced to really hear what it is I've been doing, and everyone is way into it. I also want to say that I'm pleased, because this is not. I didn't all of a sudden become good. We're working on some material that I wrote years ago, and the tracks and the essence of what they're responding to has been there for years. I'm glad that people are coming around and actually listening to me and hearing the quality of what I do. This is nothing new. Having these guys play with me is the next level thing that's happening that's fantastic. This human element, they are really adding some amazing energy and playing to my songs. I'm deeply grateful, very grateful. So, with that in mind, we listened together to some music before everyone left after listening to our tracks. And Cubby brought up, Cubby is just a very interesting young man. He brought up Bud Powell. I haven't listened to Bud Powell in years, and I was embarrassed to look and see that, oh no, I don't have any Bud Powell. We listened to his At the Roost, and it really blew the tops of all of our heads off, because listening as a group, we were just really just hearing the purity of Bud Powell's playing and his flow. just so into the music, and that was the thing that came through to talk to share with the guys, is that Bud Powell, as we're listening, is a prime example of a person who has disconnected the ego, or maybe it was never there. The music is just coming through him. It's like, unlike Art Tatum or Oscar Peterson, both brilliant pianists, but their technique was a big deal of what they're doing. They're just playing. Bud, whatever he played, it's like it was really pure. It's like, whoa. So that was a wonderful listening experience I had yesterday with the guys, listening to Bud Powell. Myself, after I did some more mixing, I played some records. For a minute, I tried to make a podcast sort of a video where I'm playing my own music, and I didn't like the quality of the sound. But while I was doing it, I played my album Murphy and ended up playing this all the way through. And if you haven't heard this, folks, Lavelle Carter, if you happen to see this, I appreciate that you've shared with me how much you like this. It is very good. And that's a VC member that whose photograph of Russ that I used for the back cover, Jeff, up in Canada. Glowing 00 Cabbage. Played some more of this last night. The Exception soundtrack by Ryuichi Sakamoto. I peeped some of the trailers and clips from this. It's anime. It looks like a very interesting new way of doing animation. I had never seen anything like it before. But this is just like the title. The music is exceptional. Sakamoto is a person who is a good example of finding ways to get inside of the music, get inside of the characters, the plot, what's going down. He's a master of soundtracks, and he's admitted it's some of the most difficult work for him. Well, he really produces results, though. Odd album. Hero. I think it's Italian. It's odd because it has aspects of prog, avant-garde, and pop. It even says it on here. Don't know what they're singing about at all. This is just strange. They don't sound like any other band, but it's prog. It's weird. Find out about this album. This is really weird. It's really good, though. It's good. They only made one album. Just pulled this. I was in the L's, and I said, okay, it's time to play Jimmy Lyons other afternoons. It had been a while. Did he play with Sun Ra? Because I recognize his style right away. I hadn't listened to this guy in a long time. There's a slight, I see there's some similarity to Eric Dolphy. His deep da shoot, Eric Dolphy. Now that I'm thinking about it in my mind, Eric Dolphy's horn playing was hip hop before hip hop. Now go listen to Eric Dolphy now and think about what I just said. Hip hop. The way that Eric Dolphy would jump. The way that he could just blat and sploot and hop around in his solos. Hip hop Eric Dolphy. That just came to me. In some ways it maybe doesn't make any sense, but in my mind, hip hop Eric Dolphy. That was hip hop before there was hip hop instrumentally. His playing reminds me a bit of Eric Dolphy, and this is good. Again, from that year when all this activity was going on in France, a lot of good music came out of it. This is a good album. Now this was next to it in the L's. I hadn't played this for a long time. When it first came out, it was talked about. It was praised. I hadn't listened to this for ages. I was thinking maybe it was time to get rid of it. No. Ray Lynch, No Blue Thing. This is an album from, let me get this right, don't let me misspeak. 1989. So this is back in the heyday of New Age music. And this was, if I remember correctly, Ray Lynch was being promoted. Somebody thought he was the next big deal. Because I was hearing about Ray Lynch. But this is actually very good. It's positive, but not treacly. It's this is good. It's not cheeseball, is what I'm saying. It's not cheesy. Mannheim Steamroller, to me, I have some of their records. They're from Omaha. I've worked with some of those people. But Chip Davis, and he said it himself, his formula has been to make the music as uniform and as easily approached as possible, which means he takes almost all the personality. He said it himself out of his music. I don't want to hear shit like that. This is the opposite. This is really wonderful. No blue thing. Wolfgang Press. This was a record store release years ago. I went ahead and grabbed it. Some old stuff that was pulled out of the vaults, unremembered, remembered. This is really good. And the thing that I dug about it was the production. If they updated the production, that really caught my ear, because it was the sound of the songs and the way the guitar was used as a more like a guitar, but another element, and it caused me to pay more attention to the vocals. Wolfgang Press, I like that. This was a fun revelation. Listen, I bought this recently, Prince 3121. So, Prince is always trying to do shit, was always trying to do stuff. And he did it with this one, the way this album starts. I dropped the needle on it, and that makes a difference to me to play records. I like dropping the needle. And the way this album starts, it doesn't start like a typical Prince album. He, in my mind, achieved his idea of trying to present to you music from the future, funk from the future. So the first track, 3121, starts off pretty out there, really cool. And the way that he has the guitar sounding, Prince was just badass, just badass. So there's more of there's me talking about what I'm doing and some music for you. How's that? In other music news, a not well-known person. There's a lot of people dying all the time. Remember Country Joe and the Fish? People were talking about that. Yesterday, got news that Jesse Gress, great guitar player. I forget who all he played with, but I saw him and met him when he was with Todd Rundgren not long ago, not that many years ago. I was knocked out by his playing in the band, and also his presence and how much he added to the sound of the band. I've seen Todd Rundgren a bunch of times, met him, and he had Kasim Sultan with him and Prairie Prince, and those guys really know how to play with Todd. They've been, they're in Todd's realm. But Jesse also is like, wow, this guy really knows how to make this music open up. He passed away. I was so impressed with him that I made a point after the show to meet him and get a selfie, which I put on my Facebook page. Rest in peace, all of you beautiful music makers and lovers of life. Many musicians are peacemakers as well. That was the other thing that we talked about, that I, kind of expounded on with Blake and Cubby as we listened and talked about, the upcoming record, because we're going to release it on CD for sure. And I'm thinking somebody ought to have some brains and talk to me about putting it out on vinyl, because this is really good. It is next level for me. It is. But I was talking to them about what's behind a lot of my music, because what is the impetus? It's not sex, it's not women, and it's not drugs. It is love. but I've had a couple conversations with Blake about this because he had never heard the term before, agape love. Cubby, on the other hand, being a philosophy major and just being a brainiac, of course knew right away what I meant when I said the word agape love. And so we were talking about how some of the songs they're beautiful and flowing. There's some of them are sensuous, and some things can be interpreted as sexy. And I said that's cool because where I'm coming from, my intent is agape love, which is love of love on a deep level, not about touch and making love, but about, it's hard to put into words, but it's how I've been trying to live ever since I understood it as a kid. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, people. Love and acceptance of the self, and seeing others around you as you see yourself, and living, expressing yourself to these people in the world from that place of shared communal love and respect. That's agape love, and that's where my music is coming from. In my mind, it really is. So before we go, I will share just a little bit more, because this one, okay, I have to pull it up because I was going through some old tracks last night, looking for more old material that could be approached, and I must tell you that I'm happy to say I've got a lot of material for these people to interpret and help me to bring more to life. Here's one, On the Crest. To that young man. Ooh, y'all. That's just fucking beautiful. What I love about this is that this is, I think, the second take, maybe. It's almost a first take response to the music, which is why it's so touching. It's just like, let music come through you. Whoo, yeah, I'm loving this. So there you go. Talk to you.